Hey everyone, I'm actually genuinely surprised that I managed to get this recording on the on the moment I pressed the button. All right, hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of the Movies, Comics, and Life podcast. I'm your host, Patronic27. That my voice cracked there. With
Benj Bruno, you can't.
okay,
No,
great.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
start with that
he's
shit
back.
again. I'm not gonna start with that again. I'm gonna start every episode with just me saying that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, and if you hear, like, I don't know, maybe weird noises, like, I don't know, you know what I mean, just weird noises, it's because Benj is having dinner.
Yes, I am currently eating my dinner at this moment.
Yeah, he's having pasta and courgette that he made, which I'm quite proud of, because honestly, I never in a million years would I think I would ever see Benj make his own dinner.
Yeah. Hang on, sorry, my house phone is ringing. Just answer that.
Your house phone, Benj? This is a podcast. This is more important than your
Yes,
phone ringing.
Excuse me.
Alright, guys, let's listen to Benj have a conversation. This is exclusive. Oh my god, that son of a bitch muted the freaking call. That son of a gun! Oh god. Well, I'm just going to describe to you all what he's doing, okay? So it looks like so far he's on the phone. I think... oh my god, I think... are those tears rolling down his eyes? Oh my god, I think one of his family members are down. Oh my... okay, wait, is that a knife in his pocket? No, he's... oh my god, he's going to his neck. Benj, put down the knife. I know you can't hear me. Put down the knife. Benj, put down the knife. Oh, oh my god! Oh wow, my voice. Did you hear like what I was saying the whole time?
No, sorry. I was talking to my father. I'm home alone.
Oh, your father.
My father is out of... I'm sorry. Rosie, what are you doing? My cat's being a dumbass right now. What are you doing? Huh? Okay. Anyway, just father and mother stuff is what it was.
Father and mother stuff. You know, just let you all know that this is what Benj's father sounds like. I mean, it's honestly is he just has such a unique voice, okay? I'm just saying that. It's like
Because he's Portuguese, he sounds a bit strange when he speaks.
No, but I mean, like, I've lived in Portugal, so I know exactly what Portuguese people sound like when they try to speak English, and honestly, it's sad, really. It's really sad. But your father, when he speaks English, it doesn't sound like how Portuguese would speak English. It has this unique style to it, you know? It's sort of like, hello, son, how are you doing? Oh no. I'll just say it right now, your father is an inspiration. He really is.
Thank you, he'll appreciate that comment.
No, I don't think he'll appreciate it. I think he'll just stare at me angrily and then maybe like smoke a cigar. Or maybe he will stare at me and then I'll see his hand slowly go into like the closet where he has his gun in his safe. And I'll just like run out the house. But yes, Benj is made his dinner, and never in a million years would I think I would ever see him make his own dinner because he's one of the laziest people I've ever met.
Yes.
I mean, I make my breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day because I have very specific meals, I guess. Because I mean, I just eat at my own time and stuff, and obviously my parents, they eat at different times. They're just like, oh, we're gonna have dinner, and I say, I'm not in the mood. I just had a snack. I'm not doing it. So I usually cook my own stuff. But yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, Benj, I'm really proud of you. This is great. This is This is just
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it, man.
this is inspirational. This is just we could show this to children, and this will probably get them to start cooking. You know, this is.
Even though the courgette I did was really bad. I mean, look at this courgette. Like, I did it so huge, man. Like, I should have cut it smaller. I just cut it like this. Like, all the courgette. It's just like this big circle. So I know how to cut things, man.
It's not
so
bad. I mean, it's
so strange as well. I just like.
Did you cook it long enough though? Is that the question? Did you cook it long enough?
I put it like cooking for like 5 minutes or something. I don't know, 6 minutes. I don't think it was long enough. But anyway, I was in a rush. I just wanted to eat, so I don't give a shit, quite honestly.
Did you put any protein with it, Benj? Any chicken or anything?
I did. This is all. I put protein, like I sticked it in with my hands.
Gotta get those
And
gains!
it's like I feel like muscles thrown through my body. Oh, that protein.
But seriously, like, do you have any chicken or anything at all, or is it just pasta and vegetables?
Nah, it's just pasta and courgette.
And this, Benj, is why you are a fat beast. No, I'm joking. No, but I mean, like, protein won't necessarily give you gains. Of course, if you train and all that, you will get gains. But you see, my dad, right? I came down the stairs one morning or something, and he was like drinking a protein shake, and he was just like, I was like, Dad, we drinking? He's like, oh, this is a protein shake, and I was like, Dad, you do realize there's no point to you drinking that protein shake if you don't work out. If you're just basically just adding calories to your day, you know, this is just gonna make you even fatter. And he was just like, of course I train every day. I go to work and I like run down up the stairs and like into the kitchen and out, and I'm like, yeah. Do you see any results? Like,
Jesus.
Is there any difference you see whatsoever?
That's the kind of exercise that I do.
Yeah,
Go up the stairs, go down the stairs.
Yeah, like get out the kitchen and stuff, and I'm just sort of like, yeah, has that done anything? Have you seen any results? And then I don't think so. I still see a belly on you, dude. All right. Sorry, gang. So for today's podcast, we have a couple of topics, and we're gonna start off with the deleted scene that was released for Justice League. Well, the 2 minutes deleted scene that they made such a bloody big deal out of in the freaking trailer for the home release of the film, which all it was.
Well, I mean,
what?
I think that like they were both leaked. I don't think either of them, the HD version and the
No. The HD version hasn't released. They've been leaked, obviously, but the lead scene is pretty much Clark Kent walking into the scout ship, and we see the black suit, which is, I have to admit, like, it looked better than I expected. I'll say that. I was just expecting to see, I don't know, the bloody suit we saw in Man of Steel.
Yeah, me too.
No, but like it was generally like the Batman v Superman or Justice League suit, but black, and I was like, damn, that suit looks it looks cool. And then suddenly the suit, his actual suit comes up, and he looks at it, and then he walks out, and it's kind of recreating that scene in Man of Steel where he walks out of the scout ship, you know, and it's really cool, and it has the Man of Steel soundtrack, which is absolutely brilliant. I got goosebumps. Just makes me wish that something
Justice League had only once in the movie, and the deleted scene that was put on the Blu-ray has more of Hans Zimmer's soundtrack than the whole of the Justice League movie.
Yeah, but
anyway, moving on.
I'll say, like, just hearing that soundtrack and that scene just makes me wish that this whole film had that soundtrack. But anyways, then the next deleted scene is Superman landing in I think it's maybe Wayne Manor. Not Wayne Manor. I don't know.
It's outside Wayne. It's outside Wayne Manor. It's like
the garage.
Yeah, it's like I think it's where Alfred lives, because I remember it was the same location as the deleted in the scene in the Batman v Superman Ultimate Cut where Alfred like cuts the wood and then
Yeah.
goes back to some house. I think it's like where he lives. And
Wait, so Alfred has his own place?
His old Aston Martin. Yeah, I don't think he lives with Bruce in this version. I think he lives in another area of the property. I think.
That's actually pretty cool. I never actually thought about that. That's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Alfred's like, I live in my own crib, Master Bruce. I get my own bitches and hookers, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh god. No, that's actually pretty cool.
Or he just like sits down and watches BBC all day.
Yeah.
Or something.
Drinking cups of tea.
Or Downton Abbey.
No, let's face it, he's probably watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah, the Walking Dead.
No, not The Walking Dead. He's probably like watching The Walking Dead. He's like, what is this shit?
And he also thinks to himself when he sees Negan and Maggie, he's like, I recognise those two.
Oh my god, that's such a I feel like I've worked with these two before. But you know, no. But speaking of Game of Thrones, actually, I've been rewatching Game of Thrones recently, and I'll just say, Ben doesn't watch Game of Thrones, but I'm just gonna say this for the people who do like Game of Thrones. Rewatching season 1 made me realize how much I miss Stark as a character, because he was just a complete badass. I mean, you've seen season 1, haven't you, Ben? Actually.
I have. I know it gets beheaded. Spoiler alert.
Dude, spoil it for those who have not seen the Thrones of the games, the Hunger Games of Thrones.
Oops.
No, but like, just rewatching it makes me realize how much I miss him as a character. But oh well. I mean, at least we got Jon Snow.
Oh, it's Jon Snow, a very good character.
He's pretty awesome.
Season 1.
Well, obviously he gets better throughout the seasons. In season 1, he's a bit of like he's like he's a bastard. He's a bastard.
Yeah, the whole season they're just saying, "Oh, look, it's the bastards."
Yeah,
like,
because the bastard means a kid without a father and mother.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you know, you bastard.
Yeah, it's the whole season. It's like, oh, look, it's Jon Snow, the bastards. I'm about to fucking fight you, mate.
Oh my god.
It's the whole season, mate.
Yeah. And then just seeing Khal Drogo again as well. I mean, spoiler alert, seeing how he dies again, like rewatching that, because I hadn't seen season 1 in such a long time. When I just rewatched it and saw him, the way he dies, I was sort of like, man, that is depressing.
God, Jason Momoa was fucking badass as that character.
Yeah, he was.
He was so good.
And when he dies, I was sort of like, I mean, obviously the second time viewing it, I was just kind of like, man, that's so depressing. He's just kind of lying there.
Yeah.
But oh well. Anyways,
he died of some disease or something.
Yeah, like he got wounded, and not the witch. Well, yeah, she's a witch, but she's a lady. Said she could heal him, but turned out she I think she basically bullshitted and kind of poisoned him pretty much, and now he's just kind of like, ugh.
What a cunt!
Yeah, what a cunt! What a bastard!
Fucking bastards!
But
that reminds me. Have you seen what Brainiac looks like?
Yes, yes, I saw that.
Holy
yeah.
Shit! I mean, he looks so good.
I know, right?
He looks so good. I mean, I'm so impressed with how good Brainiac looks.
Have you seen a new trailer that was released today?
Yeah, I saw it. Holy shit, it looks great in motion as well.
Yeah, like I was just.
That is impressive. No wonder they've been working on the visual effects so long, man.
Holy shit. I was just saying on Facebook that I had my concerns for this show ever existing. And obviously people who've listened to our past podcasts know what we think of the show. But I will say, I'm going to be honest, this trailer has won me over. And I am, like, kind of excited to actually check it out. It actually looks really cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, the past trailers didn't convince me, but just seeing how good Brainiac looks makes me think that maybe the writing and acting and all that in the show is as good.
Yeah, like...
Hopefully I'm right.
Yeah, hopefully too. And just, like, even, like, me seeing Kal-El's grandfather holding his cape, like, gave me chills. I was just like, oh!
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, like, I'll say this. Wasn't this, I don't know, rumored to be a part of the Man of Steel universe? Because clearly it's not now because of the fact that there's a yellow S on the back of the freaking cape.
I think so. I think it was supposed to be connected to the Man of Steel universe. I mean, I was under the impression that it still was. I mean, I didn't think about that yellow S.
Even the Superman crest symbol looks different.
Yeah. I don't know, it probably isn't. I don't know. Maybe Warner Brothers like, oh, the DCU's going so bad, we'll just ignore it, I guess, and make our own thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like Gotham.
But, like, I was talking to Ben about this before we did the podcast, was, this morning, if you know who Danny Shepard is, he's one of the main dudes at, Ismahawk, and he tweeted on Twitter, he tweeted on Twitter saying, like, he watched this re-edit of Batman Superman, of Man of Steel and Batman Superman put together, and it's called Man of Tomorrow, and he thought it was, like, really good, and it's probably, like, obviously you can tell that it's edited, and, you know, it's all that, but it's probably his favorite Superman movie, and I was like, right, I've got to check this out, and I gave it a watch, and it was really good. It was, like, connecting both films to make this big Superman movie that's 2.5 hours long, you know, and it's a storyline from Man of Steel and Batman Superman put together, and it works. If you're a hardcore DC fan, I'd recommend you check this out because it is really cool. But as I was also saying to Benj, if you were a general audience, I can understand how this could probably be too much for them to process in just 2.5 hours. But as a big Superman fan, this was a brilliant experience, and I really loved it. It was really good. It's called Man of Tomorrow. It's on Vimeo, and you should check it out. And also check out Ismahawk because they're amazing. And you know, I thank you, Danny Shepard, for sharing that. It was great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just saw this.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I just saw this rumor now on comicbookmovie.com. I'll briefly reference it because we kind of covered our thoughts on this in the last podcast, but it's about Venom, and this is apparently how Tom Holland's Peter Parker would fit into the Venom movie.
Okay.
Apparently, this is how he's going to fit in. So, they've heard that a scene was filmed in a building for the Life Foundation featuring Riz Ahmed's character, who I think is the lead scientist and the main villain.
Yeah.
He's like leading the field trip, and they believe that this is where Peter Parker shows up, aka Tom Holland. So if that does turn out to be true, you heard it here first. That is how he might appear, and I'm not going to say very much more about it. I just saw that and I just wanted to share it, and yeah, we already covered our thoughts on that in the last podcast. Not a good idea. Fuck off, Sony. If this isn't connected to the MCU, you can blow me. Anyway, moving on.
Well,
speaking of people that should blow me as well, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, back to the topic at hand. The Superman lands in front of Alfred, and it's basically that scene at Comic-Con where Alfred's like, he said you'd come, let's hope you're not so late. But Superman arrives, and he's basically like, I assume you're Alfred, and he's like, Mr. Kent. And just like the smile on Superman's face, I was just like, fucking Superman. And he doesn't look like he has buck teeth.
Yeah, And he didn't. That scene was shot by Snyder. I can guarantee you that.
Actually, I have this image, or so, I think I took a screenshot of what someone said about Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon. Okay, right. Because this. Solid evidence indicating that the reshoots were never intended to lighten up Superman or deliver the true Superman. Snyder's Justice League was already on track to deliver that. The goal of reshoots and theatrical cut was to de-Snyder DCU at any cost. And people say that this scene itself proves that Zack Snyder's version of Superman was probably still the lighthearted Superman, but
I mean, maybe, but I like to see that for myself, because I'd still, even after this scene, I still don't trust Zack Snyder with Superman. I just have to see what he actually did with him in Justice League. Like, I'd see the scenes he shot.
Yeah.
So, like that. Because if I see the scenes he shot, and I think that Superman is really good in that, then, I'll, like, give Snyder a break, and I'll say, okay, you're forgiven for your shitty portrayal of Superman in Batman v Superman, and whatever. Joss Whedon can go fuck off.
But I'll say this
it's not really his fault.
I think what Zack Snyder was trying to do, and Henry Cavill said this himself, Zack Snyder's goal with the whole Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League, was that it was meant to be technically like a Superman trilogy, as in Superman, Man of Steel was kind of the dawn of Superman, or more or less, and Batman v Superman was kind of like the downside of Superman, like obviously, or sorry, not the downside, the fallen of Superman, and then Justice League is like the Superman reborn as his true self. That was kind of like what he was going for.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I don't know, Superman in Batman v Superman was just so unrecognizable from, even Clark Kent, quite honestly, as a character. I mean, it's just some of the bits in Batman v Superman, I was just like, huh? What?
Yeah.
What are you doing here? What is this?
I can understand
wasting
that.
time stopping Batman instead of stopping terrorists with RPG. What's going on here? I know that's like a plot thing that Zack Snyder just had to do, but I mean, you could have done that
better, yeah.
Because that was just stupid. Because I remember seeing that in the theater, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But though Superman Man of Steel, I liked what they did with Superman Man of Steel. That point of view of, like, obviously it's his first day in the job. He's not going to be the lighthearted, I am Superman, you get the idea. He's kind of...
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't too bad in that, yeah.
Yeah, he's like an unexperienced Superman, which worked for that movie, and it was great. That's why I really like Man of Steel, because it's an interesting point of view on Superman's origin story, and I've read many Superman origin stories, and I've seen many versions of Superman with obviously different ways of becoming different interpretations of him becoming Superman, and Man of Steel was definitely a great one. So
yeah,
but
this was, but yeah, it was overall a great interpretation of the Superman origin, I'd say.
But yeah, that's pretty much the lead scene, and then obviously after that, Superman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is pretty much like. I mean, especially that scene with Superman and Alfred.
Yeah.
That was something they showed at Comic-Con. Both me and Patrick saw that trailer, and we got hyped as fuck when we realized that was Superman that Alfred was speaking to.
Remember when people thought do you remember when people thought it was like Green Lantern, and I was like, dude, just shut the fuck up, it's Superman.
Yeah, they thought it was Supergirl, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I was like, jump off the roof.
Yeah, I remember reading that, I was like, what? That's Superman. When we first saw it, we both got hyped as shit because we saw the red cape. We were like, holy shit, it's Superman! Like,
yeah.
Alfred's talking to him. We got really excited for that. And then when I read that wasn't in the movie, I was like, get the fuck out off yet. They wouldn't be that stupid. And then I see it and I'm like, oh my god, it's true. Oh my god, it's true. I can't believe this. But I'm really glad that they actually put the scene in the Blu-ray, because I was worried they wouldn't. That they would just have a scene of him in like the Fortress of Solitude.
But seriously, this whole thing, the whole thing is technically it's less than 2 minutes because they added the bloody, I don't know.
Yeah, they added like fucking a countdown before the deleted scenes.
Who the fuck does that anymore?
For what? What was the point of that?
No one does that anymore.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's such a... It pisses me off. They're selling, like, the Blu-ray with it, like, having deleted scenes, and it's just these two scenes, which separately are both less than a minute, I'm pretty sure.
That's like saying, I don't know, like, whenever...
50 seconds. I mean, that's a rip-off. Fuck Warner Brothers, they're ripping fans off.
Yeah.
It's worse than Suicide Squad Extended Cut.
Oh, definitely.
It's worse than that.
That's like saying, like, whenever Marvel releases a movie, they will, like, put in front of the cover of their DVDs, like, 7 added deleted scenes. You know, make a big deal out of it, and whenever they release a home release trailer, it's like, 7 deleted scenes, you know, all that bullcrap. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're deleted scenes. They're not supposed to be made a big deal out of.
Yeah. It's bullshit, man. It's absolutely... It pisses me off, these PR tactics that Warner Brothers uses.
Look,
pisses me off.
I'm just saying,
really...
This should have just been the movie, because it just should have been the movie. That's it.
I mean, what's the point? They could have, like, cut some of the stuff with the fucking Russian family and put this in. I mean, I don't understand. Warner Brothers, I don't understand why you did this. The movie itself, without the after credit scenes and without the credits, was an hour and 47 minutes long. Do you realise how bad a 1 hour and 47 minute Justice League movie is? Do you not understand how bad that is? Oh my god, it's so... It pisses me off.
You know, speaking of piss, I've got to piss, so I feel like try and entertain the audience while I go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yes. Sorry, guys. Hey.
Well, I'm back.
What? Sorry, I would love to entertain the... Sorry, I would have loved to entertain the podcast, but you see, my mum and sister just got in and they were talking about girl stuff. I'm like, God, this girl's such a bitch or whatever. Gymnastic stuff or something. I don't know.
You know, I'm actually wanting to get into gymnastics.
You know, this is a cucumber and not a courgette. I knew there was something weird about that. Did you cook it? Yeah, I did.
Dude, did you cook a cucumber?
It was a cucumber.
Oh my god! The main point of your meal was meant to be...
where the courgette was, because I was like 5 minutes looking for that, Mum. In the fridge. That was in the fridge as well, Mum.
Really? No way.
Benj! Benj!
You shouldn't leave me alone to cook stuff like that, Mum. You know what happens.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. The whole point, you were having pasta courgette, and you made it with cucumber.
Yeah, I knew there was something funny about it.
And I was proud of you. I was genuinely proud of you. Now I am disgusted. Oh my god. That is just ridiculous. dude, what are you doing?
Sorry, my sister's watching cringe-worthy vines that just are a disgust to humanity.
And you feel the need to put your hand in front of the camera, or
What?
never mind.
I was looking for my charger. I'm doing this.
Oh, right. Okay, well, back on topic, and let's just ignore Ben's horrible mistakes in life. But
anyway, let's continue talking about whatever.
I think that's all that has to be said about the deleted scene. I don't think anything else has to be added.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's not rant on about Warner Brothers and all that again.
Yeah. I think I've ranted enough about Warner Brothers.
Yeah. So Benj, have you seen the new Marvel movie that's being released?
Maybe I have. I mean, it's not like it is a Marvel movie that might outgross the Avengers because it's doing so well at the box office.
Alright, Benj, I don't think you're all fucking not, like, tactical and shit about it. Just fuck off.
Yeah,
have you seen the Pink Panther?
Yes, I have seen the Pink Panther.
You like it?
It is a movie that I really enjoyed it. You know, I think that Steve Martin did a really great performance in the movie. I think it's Steve Martin who's in the remake. I should have just said Peter Sellers. Should have said Peter Sellers. That's a better version.
Yes. No, but seriously, we saw Black Panther last weekend, and we're gonna give our thoughts on it.
Yes. Our thoughts on the Black Panther.
Yeah, I would just say I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Now, everyone who had seen the trailers and saying stuff like, "Oh my god, this looks absolutely so great! I can't believe this is gonna be such a game changer! Oh my god!" And I was one of the. I love the director of it because he did Creed and he did that other movie with Michael B. Jordan, which were brilliant. Creed is I love Creed, and Ryan is a really awesome director, and he's an inspirational director because he's only 31, and the fact that he can make movies like this is just mind-blowing. Like, he has a great record when it comes to filmmaking and stuff. So when I heard he was making Black Panther, I was like, that's awesome. But when I saw the trailers, I wasn't like superly hyped for it. Just the same I was for Thor Ragnarok. I wasn't super hyped for Thor Ragnarok. But same situation. When I saw the film, it turned out to be a lot better than I freaking expected. The characters were really good. Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan, was absolutely fucking amazing. I will say, he is one of the best MCU villains.
I agree. Michael B. Jordan was great in the movie.
He was great, and his motivation for his evil plan in the film was done really well. It wasn't just another, oh, I'm gonna end the fucking world because that's just what I want to do. No, yeah, he has a complete motivation about it, and it makes sense.
Well, technically, he did want to end the world, but in an interesting way.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like I said, he doesn't want to end the world just for the point of being evil. But I mean, wait, did he want to end the world? Didn't he want to share vibranium?
Sorry, my mom just added an interesting comment. She was like, I just said that thing about it. Ending the world in an interesting way, and she just said, "What? Instead of ending the world in a very boring way?" And to that, I say, "Yes, yes, Mum." That's what I have to say about that.
Great. But No, like Killmonger's motivation for being evil, you know, it's because he was left behind, and he thought, well, obviously his dad was killed by King T'Chaka and stuff. So like, it was completely understandable why he felt this way, and I just thought it was great. Spoiler alert! Sorry, Jesus Christ! Spoiler alert for Black Panther. Literally, that was really dumb.
Yeah. Obviously. Spoiler.
But shit, like Michael B. Jordan was really buff in this film.
I think he usually is, man.
I know, yeah, he usually is, but I mean, like, compared to what he was in Creed, he was, like, jacked.
But was he more jacked in this than he was in Creed?
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Huh.
Like, I saw an interview of him, and he was...
the kind of guy to notice that.
Like, for Creed, he was obviously training to, like, have a boxer physique. For this movie, he was looking to have, like, a big, bulky kind of physique, which obviously meant he, I don't know, ate more.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, Killmonger was really good in this movie, Michael B. Jordan, yeah. It's definitely one of the best parts. So, my overall thoughts on this movie, I think I was more excited for this movie than I think Patrick was.
yeah.
Because I saw these trailers and like I knew the director was great, I knew the cast was great, and I expected it to be great. I mean, the trailers were kind of alright, but I just knew it was going to be good. And I saw it and I was just kind of like, it was good, but just like, you know, it's kind of the usual Marvel movie. I'm going to be completely honest right now. When I watched the movie, the thing that got me the most hyped when I saw Black Panther, you know what it was?
What?
The trailer for Avengers that played before it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I got more hyped for the Avengers trailer than I did for almost the whole of Black Panther. Probably the whole of it, I think. I mean, there were some parts where I got chills. I was like, that's pretty cool, but other than that...
No, to be quite honest with you, dude, for Black Panther didn't necessarily feel like another Marvel movie, in my honest opinion. Like, one thing I agreed with me and my friend Lewin, we made a video in the past, and he listens to these podcasts, so shout out to you, brother. When me and him saw the film, one thing we agreed on was that they captured the humor in this movie, like, perfectly. Like, it wasn't overdone like most Marvel movies. There was a perfect amount of comedy and serious moments for it to be fine. Like, you had the humorous character, who was obviously the Black Panther's sister. The Black Panther's sister, who I would admit I absolutely fucking loved her. She was so cool, and she's like pretty much Q from 007. She really is, and she's a complete badass, and I can't wait to see more of her. But she was obviously the more humorous one, and everyone else, they had like little jokey moments. They were like obviously just more serious. Whereas compared to other Marvel movies, everyone in the fucking film is joking around and saying shit. But no, this took it, like, this had serious moments and stuff, and it had a perfect balance. I thought it was good. Like it didn't have like a scene, you know, like it didn't have a scene like in Thor Ragnarok when fucking Asgard blew up. You had Krog say like, we can build the foundations, and then suddenly, whatever, it just blows up, and he's like, oh no we can't. It takes a complete drama out of the scene. Or that's like in this movie when Killmonger gets killed off, which I have to say is done really good too. It's like, I don't know, maybe Black Panther was like, you know, we can still revive you, and then so he's just like, no you can't, and then he just kills himself, and he's just like, oh, fuck.
I mean, I wouldn't really like compare Taika Waititi's like directing style to Ryan Coogler's directing style.
I suppose so, but I'm not just saying like Taika would like Thor Ragnarok. I'm saying most other Marvel movies, like for the exception of, I don't know, Captain America: The Winter Soldier and shit.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I think I even enjoyed For Ragnarok more than I did Black Panther. I think. I mean,
I don't
I don't know.
know.
It's just
I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure what one I actually enjoyed more. Cause like I think the reason why I like Black Panther so much is just it just felt it's just one of those movies where you can in the Marvel genre that you can just kind of pick out, like that's what I said about Spider-Man Homecoming, is that you can definitely pick this one stands out from compared to all other Marvel movies in the MCU is because of like its setting. Obviously it takes place in high school and shit, and you can like it feels more grounded, which is great. It's great to have something different in the MCU. Whereas this obviously takes place in Wakanda, and you definitely get that sense, especially with like the soundtrack and just the setting, and that's just great. I love that feeling. Like, right, it's not just the same thing over and over again, you know. But it's just it was good. I really liked it. I really did enjoy Black Panther. I thought it was good.
yeah. I mean, going back to the humor, I will admit it was kind of a mixed bag, honestly, because I think there was some jokes that I laughed at quite hard at. Like, for the one I laughed the hardest at was that bit where Black Panther's like kicking the suit and
Yeah.
like, does the thing, and then it's like delete that.
Yeah, that was really funny.
That was the funniest bit in the movie for me.
A part that I thought was really funny
and-
was when fucking Claw started singing like, "Baby, don't hurt me, don't hurt me."
Yeah, I know.
I really did like Andy Serkis in this
really
movie. He was really, really cool.
Yeah, I like the bit when you get to the house and you're just like, all right, I'll let you go, but just don't tell anyone about this, right?
Yeah.
Just shoots it. God damn it, that bit cracked me up. Not a lot of people laughed at that bit, but I like cracked up at that bit. I was like, this is so bad.
Yeah.
Poor guy. But yeah, Andy Serkis was really good as Claw, and I was really disappointed with what they did with him in the end, because I don't know, I was expecting him to.
Honestly, I didn't necessarily mind it. I mean, it kind of proved that it was something. How do I say this? I've been hearing a lot of people's point of views on like him being killed off so early, and I thought it was pretty ballsy. And it just like, but it also showed Killmonger, like how desperate Killmonger is to get to Wakanda and shit. So I thought it was interesting, and not to mention it was a pretty good purpose, because one of the characters in the movie really wanted Black Panther to bring Claw back, because obviously I think Claw killed his father or like family or some shit, and Black Panther obviously failed.
Daniel Kaluuya's character from Get Out. I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
Get Out before I saw this. That is a really good movie. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't actually.
You have to do that. That was really good.
I'll give it a watch.
Like, as someone who's not a big fan of horror movies, like, I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Daniel Kaluuya, he was good. I mean, he didn't appear much in Black Panther, but I liked what I saw of him, and I see what the point of that was. You know, it's just scared.
And if like a reason to get into Wakanda. But no, I thought that was done really well. Like he killed him and then brought him. Obviously, he did what Black Panther couldn't do. So I thought that was done really well.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was good. I don't know what else. I don't know. I just don't have like a lot of like thoughts about this movie. I enjoyed it, but I don't think that it was like that different from usual Marvel movies. Like, it tackled some interesting topics, but I like when people call this like a political movie. I'm just like, really? What was political about?
I wouldn't go that far, but I can understand how people like especially African American people would feel towards this movie. I really do, because like.
Yeah, there you go. I think that's the best thing about the reaction to this movie is like seeing how people are responding to it. And
yeah.
People really enjoying this and how this getting a lot of money to at the box office. I mean, more power to those people. You know, I think it's really good the reaction that this movie is getting, and you know, it's just really making me happy. Like seeing all these people happy about there being a Black Panther movie. That's the bit I'm happiest about, the overall reaction. But the actual movie itself, I was a bit like, yeah, just kind of so. Like, and I'm seeing people that have agreed with me to a certain extent as well. Like, have had similar opinions to me, but.
No, but to be honest, dude, I did actually really enjoy Black Panther, and it's got me actually a lot more excited to see more of Wakanda in Avengers Infinity War, because obviously in the trailer you can see a battle scene between the Wakanda and Thanos' alien shit, you know, but like I'm excited to see more of Wakanda, and obviously we see Bucky in an after credit scene, which was really what I kind of called for, because. Obviously, me and Loon were just waiting to see the after credit scene, and like when the kids were just on top of obviously Bucky. That sounds wrong, but when they were waking him up, I think they called him the White Wolf, which is a reference to the comics or some shit. But when he was who was a different character, the White Wolf.
I think that's a reference to some. Yeah, I think that's a reference to some other character.
Yeah, it's different to a different character. But seriously, when Aston came along, I was just like, it's fucking Bucky, it's Bucky, it's Bucky. And then like when he walks out the tent, I just turned to Lewin and I was just like, dude, it's Bucky, it's the Winter Soldier, it's Bucky. Because like Lewin loves Bucky and shit, but yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting Bucky to be in some form in the Black Panther.
Me too.
I would have been disappointed if he didn't.
Yeah, I was expecting it. So, but it was good that he showed up, and you know, it's great.
You know who I was slightly hoping? I mean, he wouldn't have served like any purpose at all, but you know who I would have been happy to see in this movie as well?
Captain America?
No, Baron Zemo. I don't know, I just would have liked to actually see more of... because I know some people think that Baron Zemo is kind of an average villain in Captain America Civil War, but I actually quite enjoyed Baron Zemo, and I would have liked to see more interactions between him and Black Panther, but at the same time I do realise their story has kind of come to an end of some sorts.
Yeah, I wouldn't say any purpose of him being in this movie, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, that was just a slight hope of mine, but
yeah,
it's not anything that ruins the movie, you know.
Yeah.
You know. I've been fucking stupid, but yeah, I did. Yeah, that after credits scene was pretty good. I mean, I was hoping, just a bit hoping for like something cool, like Captain America showing up with his cool ass beards, like.
I'll say like the first.
Panther about.
I'll say
hey, we need to protect these stones or something like that.
I'll tell you this: the first after credit scene with the press conference between like, you know, King T'Challa saying like he's gonna share the vibranium with the government and shit. I thought that scene was kind of like, what was that necessary? Like I was kind of like, what the fuck.
That apparently, I think I read somewhere that was supposed to be the actual ending to the movie, and then just put it as a bloody after credit scene.
It kind of reminds me of.
They should have just kept that as the ending.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
I mean, you didn't need that bit where the kids was like, "Oh, that's so cool. Who are you?" And then it like cuts to Black Panther. I was like rolling my eyes a bit. I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, really?"
Yeah, you know, I kind of notice, especially for a while now, that Marvel tend to end their movies quite abruptly. Like, you know, you have fucking Captain America the Winter Soldier, it ends of like, so, when do we start? And then dun 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 dun, and then Spider-Man Homecoming, it's like, Peter Parker getting into his Spider-Man suit, and then Ant-Man's like, what the fuck? And then obviously it ends. You got Age of Ultron, where it's like, Avengers, and then it ends. You know, it's like, you can see that they have a certain pattern now, more or less.
Yeah. I don't know. So yeah, I was a bit like, you know, just, yeah, I wish that was the actual ending.
Yeah.
But another thing that I saw someone say on Twitter the other day was that he thought that Black Panther in Civil War was more badass than Black Panther in his own movie. And I actually agree with him. I think that T'Challa should have been like, I don't know, bad spelt or something. Here's the thing. I was expecting, like, with this movie, knowing how good of a director Ryan Coogler was, I was expecting him to, like, tackle something really interesting, like, what was it like to be a king? Like, you know, that bit in the trailer where it's like, it's hard for a good man to be king. That's something that I frankly think that wasn't very explored in the movie.
Well, to be quite honest with you, it was kind of, it was explored to an extent.
Black Panther stuff after.
I would say it was explored to an extent of, like, when he meant by that, he was saying, like, it's hard for a good man to be a king. Like, he was meaning because of what he did to his brother, as proof as you can't necessarily, like, it's really hard for someone to be good and be a good king, you know, and shit, because he's done something really bad. So clearly he wasn't good, and King T'Challa's doesn't want to do, you know, shit like that. He wants to be good, and he's saying it's hard for like you to be like that, you know. Like you're gonna make sacrifices and shit. That's pretty much, you know. And like obviously Black Panther's at the end when he kind of more or less dies, he says like, no, I will not die. I will go back and I will save, like, I will redeem your wrong and try and I'm gonna take down Killmonger, which that was the kind of purpose of it, really.
I guess, but I don't know. I just you know, the fact that he just became king and then it went straight to him doing like Black Panther stuff right after. I was just a bit like, I mean, really.
I guess so. That chase scene in China or something, you know, was actually really fucking cool. Like the way she can drive the car in Wakanda.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I did really like.
Was pretty cool. I liked the one-shot fight scene in the
hotel
as well.
That was cool. Yeah, I noticed that.
That was pretty cool as well.
Yeah, but I really liked the tech in this movie. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I would have been disappointed if the tech wasn't cool, considering that Wakanda is supposed to be, you know, far more advanced than Earth is.
Yeah, and I'll just say this: I really like fucking Black Panther's costume. I thought it was really cool.
What, Black Panther, the new one he has?
Yeah, like I kind of prefer the new one to his old one, to be honest with you. Because like it looks a lot more sleeker and shit, and like when I see him in like his older one, he looks a lot more bulkier, kinda. When I compared it to.
I guess it's kind of like with the Batman v Superman, and the Justice League costume for Batman. I guess I think it's the mask is where it all comes down to. There's something about the new mask that I just find so. Like, I don't know, something about the eyes or something. It looks.
What, you mean in the Justice League?
No, I'm talking about. I'm like comparing it to, like, you know, with Batman v Superman and Justice League, like the Batman costume, like it had like. I preferred some aspects of the Batman v Superman costume to the Justice League costume. The same thing with the Civil War costume and the Black Panther costume. With the Black Panther costume in this movie, there's something about the eyes or the mask or something that I just find, I don't know, strange. Well, I don't like the way
the fact that he's able to like the fact that he's able to like you know the way that he has white eyes, he's able to like take that away, because there's a scene when he's going up to Claw, you can see like the eye lenses kind of just go away, you can see his actual eyes. I thought that was actually pretty cool. Like, he kind of looked a bit intimidating, and I thought that was, wow, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, I don't know. It's something I don't mind completely, but I remember when I first saw the costume in the trailer, I was a bit like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I agree with you. I was a bit like, what that too. But like when I saw the film, I was like, I did it. The costume kind of grew on me pretty quickly, and I did actually really like it.
It did, yeah. I've kind of grown up to it as well, but yeah, I've kind of had the same opinion about it as with the Batman costume in BVS and Justice League. It's kind of like a similar thing.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
if we're talking about that, I'm one of the people that don't really like Batman's costume in Justice League, to be quite honest with you, compared to Batman v Superman's one.
Yeah, I prefer the Batman v Superman costume, hands down. Totally. I think that's a far better costume.
Agreed.
But yeah, Justice League's, but Batman v Superman's a far better movie than Justice League, so I guess it kind of fits, doesn't it? Anyway, going back to actual Marvel stuff.
Yeah. But
let's talk about with Black Panther.
Yeah,
I thought the soundtrack wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
You know the scenes where there's like the Black Panther theme like going on. It was like, I can say like 3 bits where it comes on. It's when he's like skydiving and he throws those trackers, where he like blows up the car, and when he like comes back from the dead supposedly, there's like this music beat that comes on for Black Panther. It's kind of like theme song, and that shit sounded badass in the theatre. I got chills the first time it came on, I would say.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go see Black Panther again this Saturday with my aunt, because I do generally want to watch it again, which is kind of rare when it comes to a Marvel movie. Like when I saw Thor Ragnarok, I wasn't necessarily like wanting to see it a second time anytime soon. If I was given the opportunity to, then yeah, definitely. But Black Panther, and and Spider-Man: Homecoming, I wanted to see that multiple times. But with Black Panther, I actually generally do want to see it a second time, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it again.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll see it again. I think I might just wait until it comes out on Blu-ray, like The Last Jedi. Which, speaking of which, they just released a Blu-ray trailer for that.
Yeah,
I saw coming out soon on Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's coming out in March or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been marked in my calendar. You know, I'm just like that. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't think Black Panther was bad, but I didn't think it was as good as like people thought it was. I thought it was a good watch. It deserves a watch, and like, you know, if you loved it, great. If you thought it was alright, then you know you're not alone. You know, or even if you think it's bad. I mean, if you think it's bad and you know people call you a racist, then tell them to fuck off, man. I mean, seriously, I mean, what the hell, man? You think Black Panther's bad and then suddenly you call a racist? Because you just...
Alright, Benj, calm the fuck down. You don't have to go on a tangent about racism if you don't like fucking Black Panther, okay? Jesus Christ.
I didn't... It's just, no, I just think that people can be stupid sometimes. Chris Stuckman even referred to it in his review that, you know, if you want to criticize a movie, then, you know, don't be afraid to do it. But yeah, look, I liked Black Panther. I think it has its issues, but I think that the cast is great, especially Michael B. Jordan's fucking Killmonger. He was fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And T'Chaka's sister was great as well. Andy Serkis was great. A bunch of people were great in there. Even Martin Freeman wasn't.
Yeah, he was pretty good too. And I like the way they kind of very quickly fixed kind of like they saw plot holes or flaws, and it kind of fixed it very quickly. Like in the scene where I really like this when Martin Freeman's character was he had to fly the ship, King T'Chaka's Black Panther's sister says very quickly, I've I've like made this American style for you so you can fly it, and I really like that touch. I was like, wow, that's them trying to addressing like a problem that they just didn't like. The audience would obviously question, wait, how the fuck does this guy know how to drive a Wakanda ship? But no, she like very quickly addresses, I've made this American style for you so you can fly it, and I was like, oh, well, that's I like that.
Yeah, that was a question that passed through my mind, and then when she said she made it American style, I was like, oh, very good.
I thought that was really smart of them. But yeah, that's pretty much all that has to be said about Black Panther. I definitely put it up there as one of the well, I wouldn't put it at the top of the best MCU movies, but I definitely put it on top 10.
Yeah, I like. It's not my least favorite. I mean, it's definitely not my least favorite Marvel movie.
I think that medal goes to maybe Thor: The Dark World, maybe.
The Dark World, yeah.
That movie's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I thought. I mean, I wish I had more to say about it, but I just don't have very much to say about it. I think anyone who's watched this has seen it already, and it's just, you know, I'm just really glad about the response to this game. But you know, I thought that the overall movie was you know, decent. It was an entertaining watch, and just, you know, it was alright. It just, I wished it was better. But I actually talked to a friend of mine about that a couple of days ago, and he said a really good thing, which was like, oh, you know, they could do it kind of like Captain America. You know, the first Avenger was kind of alright, then they fixed all the issues in the Winter Soldier. And I was like, I like that point of view, because yeah, they could, like, the things that people thought were kind of, you know, not that great about Black Panther, Ryan Coogler, if he returns as director, which I hope he does, because he deserves a second chance again for me to, like, make this better.
Dude, I mean, he doesn't even need a second chance. You make it sound like he just made a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, he did. It's just like I just expected better from Ryan Coogler.
But I know you expected more. I know you expected more from him because of what he did with Creed. But you have to keep in mind that he's working, like, when he's making a movie like Creed, he has more of his own right. Where when you're doing something like Black Panther and instead of Marvel Studios,
control, right.
he has to follow a certain formula that other Marvel movies are kind of thing. That's why a lot of Marvel movies look the same tonally and, like, just color-wise too. It's because they have to follow a certain formula that Marvel's giving them, and if they don't follow it, then they can fuck off. That's pretty much what it is. So it's not necessarily his fault. It's just the fact that it's just the formula he has to follow.
Yeah, you are right, and I hope that the next time that he does a sequel, if he does a sequel for this, I hope that he gets creative control like Patty Jenkins is getting for Wonder Woman 2. Like, more creative control.
I doubt it, since fucking, like, you don't see the Russo brothers getting creative control and shit, you know?
Yeah, but the Russo brothers did the Winter Soldier, and that shit was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, it was absolutely great, but you don't see them getting creative control.
Are the Russo brothers better directors than Ryan Coogler? I mean, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree either.
Something. I think that something maybe went a bit wrong here. You know, something must have. You know.
I agree with you that they're not better, but like the fact if the fact that the Russo brothers are making the Avengers Infinity War movie, or the fact that they've made 3 Marvel movies and they still don't have full creative control, I doubt Ryan Coogler's going to get full creative control just for making a Black Panther sequel. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
like I said, Kevin Feige's just the king of it all. You have to, if you really want to, like, if you have a certain point of view or a certain, like, I don't know, a way you want this movie to play out, you have to take down the dragon, and that's fucking Kevin Feige.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin Feige isn't, you know, that bad, though.
Actually, I'm gonna say
what,
very
bro?
quickly. I have a plan for this certain video I want to make, and it's kind of like a parody on the behind the scenes of one of the MCU movies, and I've made like Kevin Feige like a complete money gaining asshole. It's funny, but I've actually finished the script for it, and I'm gonna start working on it soon. You know, I just finished doing like a very short Spider-Man thing. Make sure you check it out. I'm really proud of it, and well, you know, I'm glad at how it turned out. I thought it went pretty good. Make sure you check it out. But now that I've got that done with, I'm gonna start working on this. But yeah, I made Kevin Feige a complete asshole, you know. But it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he is, but yeah, you know.
Hey, that's the point of the video. Like I make certain
yeah.
like shit insane. Like
I mean,
I make Chris
yeah,
Evans a
Kevin
fucking
Feige
junkie.
looks like yeah. Jesus, Chris Evans junkie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris Evans, anyone who's involved in that video, please don't be offended. Please don't be offended. We're just kidding.
Do you mean I'm just kidding? Because I have to be alone.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's our review for Black Panther. And
Actually, could I just talk about one quick scene from
Benj, I was about to fucking sign
I just
off, and now
remembered
you're doing this to me.
Sorry.
You make me look like a fool. A fool.
Sorry. I just remembered about the scene that really touched me in the cinema, and it also reminded me of another weird thing in the movie as well.
All right, what is
The
it?
final scene between Killmonger and Black Panther. So that scene was really fucking good.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it
agree
actually
too. I
touched
have to
my
admit, that was really
heartstrings, and it
cool.
really emotional, yeah. Even though that the actual final part with Killmonger and Black Panther, the green screen was fucking terrible. Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
see like the green screen in that part? Holy shit, it was so bad. I mean, and that wasn't the only part. It was like other parts where I like watching the green screen. I was like, oh my god, what the hell is this? And some of the CGI as well was like was bad as well.
I'll be
It's
honest
like,
with you. I will be honest. The final fight between Killmonger and Black Panther, I was like, these just look like fucking computer generated characters fighting each other.
yeah. Another fucking thing that someone said is that the scenes in Wakanda don't actually feel like places. They just feel like sets. They don't feel like environments.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to agree with them. They don't feel like actual, you know, environments that you could walk in or explore. They just feel like
I actually said something
sets.
funny to Lewin when we were watching the movie, when like obviously the council of fucking Wakanda, you know, when they're sitting in that circle and shit.
Yeah.
I literally turned to Lewin and I was like, "Oh, dude, look, it's the fucking Jedi Temple or something." Like,
yeah. Yeah. Shit. Oh, you putting it out. Yeah. Yeah. Holy shit. You're right.
but
It does kind of look like the Jedi Temple. Yeah.
yeah. So is that it, dude? Is that all you have to say?
I guess so. Yeah. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, of course you can.
Go watch Black Panther if you haven't.
Yeah, definitely go check it out, and feel free to tell us what you think in the comments below, because I definitely would like to hear what you guys want to say. And if you have any questions for me and Benj to answer in the podcast, make sure to leave them down below. We would love to hear what you guys have to say and questions. And like, if you want me to take off my top, I'll do that too. You know, no deal. No problem. Sorry.
Like it's in the Spider-Man fan film.
Dude, I'm just gonna tell you something. I began fucking like messages on Instagram of like, I don't know, I got a message off this woman or some shit, I don't know, in her 20s, and she just said, "Hey, I just want to say you look so hot in that Spider-Man suit," and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh god, a woman in her 20s.
Yeah.
Holy shit, it's actually bad. It's actually bad when she like finds out the truth. have you seen, like, I know you've read the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, but do you know that bit where Black Cat, like, kisses Spider-Man?
Yes!
The reaction she has.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be like that.
Oh, dude, I have that thing. I remember when I read it and literally got to that part where, like, she kisses him, I was just like, oh, that son of a bitch.
Yeah. And then, you know, spoiler alert, she throws up on his fucking dick.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
anyway, that was a good way to, just kind of do that.
yeah, end the podcast. Great. This is how I want to do it. Well, thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down in the comments below. If you've seen Black Panther, tell us what you think of it. Love to hear what you have to say. And, yeah, I guess me and the dude will see you in next week's episode. So, yeah, is that it, Benj?
I guess that is it.
Great.
For the podcast.
For the podcast? What the fuck?
The podcast.
Okay. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week. I'm Treasure7. This is Benj Bruno. You already know. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
See you all next week, guys. Bye.